So I'm going to be making some chocolate dipped Oreo Pops. I'm going to take my Oreos, and the first thing you have to do is split them in half. So just a nice twist, and this is a good job for the kids to do, and just right onto a cookie sheet. So I'm going to do a few of those. Good to be very gentle with Oreos. Probably the greatest cookie ever invented. But I have just my lollipop sticks. You can buy any kind in the store. They have the fun kind of swirly ones. They have these. And what I'm going to do is I need to glue my sticks onto my Oreos. If I just tried to put them in like this and sandwich them together, they're going to end up falling out. So I'm going to take a little bit of white chocolate. You can see I just have a bowl of melted white chocolate. And I'm just going to kind of dip my stick just a little bit right into the center of my Oreo. And then super gently, I'm just going to press my cookie together. You don't want to press too hard because it's going to snap your cookie. So just nice and gently. And that white chocolate is going to act as glue. So once that chocolate sets up and gets hard, it's going to keep my cookie on my pop. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more. Right into my white chocolate, onto my cookie, and glue them together. Just push, push, push. Firm but gentle. That's the key. So again, into my white chocolate. All right, so that's step one. If you want to be extra safe, you can refrigerate those. But if not, just kind of go for it. Oh, see? Snapped one already. If you snap it, it's kind of okay. You can get away with it. But that's fine. Okay, so I have my Pops ready to go. And now I have a nice bowl of dark chocolate. This chocolate has been tempered. So this way when I dip my Oreo Pops, it's going to set up with a nice snap and sheen. It's going to be glossy but firm. So I'm going to take some of my Pops that have been resting. And I'm just going to, you have a choice. You can entirely dunk the Pop into the chocolate. Some people love that. Or I like to do it a little halfway, kind of a dip. But we'll do a couple of variations. So I'm just going to let some of my chocolate drizzle off. And then I'm just going to kind of push against the side of the bowl just to get too much extra off of the bottom, and then right onto a cookie sheet or a piece of parchment paper. Let's do a couple more sideways. Okay, let it drizzle right off the side. Okay, let's do one dunked completely. So if you want to dunk completely, remember that the melted chocolate is very heavy. So be very gentle about just letting the chocolate kind of drizzle off. Okay, just a little bit off the bottom and onto my parchment. We'll do one more of those. Dunk, lift, let drizzle. Okay, so now we have a really nice thin layer of chocolate. And I'm just going to leave those there. And now any toppings that you want, that's kind of your prerogative. You could take a little bit of sprinkles and do a little sprinkle action, which is really cute. Or you could take a little melted white chocolate and just kind of drizzle a little bit of white chocolate over your cookie. Just in kind of a fun, no fuss kind of a way. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop those into the fridge, let them set for about 5 minutes until I can touch them and they're not wet anymore. And that's how you make chocolate dipped Oreo Pops. So today I'm going to talk about how to make chocolate covered bacon, which is delicious. Here I have some candied bacon. So what I did was I just took raw bacon strips, I put them onto skewers. You can see I kind of looped it into the skewer. And then I just took a little bit of brown sugar and sprinkled the tops and baked it in a really low temperature oven, probably about 300 or 325 degrees, just until they're nice and golden and crispy. You can see how firm these pieces are, and they have the nice caramelized sugar kind of running around the top of it. So you have a choice. You can use any kind of chocolate that you like, dark, milk, or white. I'm using dark and white. I have a combination platter going on here, but I'm just going to take a paintbrush. You could, if you want to, take these off the skewers. I'm going to leave them on because I think they're really cute and fun, and you can kind of serve them this way and people can nibble as they like. But just with a paintbrush, I'm going to take a little bit of my white chocolate and I'm just gonna brush over my bacon. Give it a nice layer of chocolate. And this is actually maybe a little bit of a kind of a lowbrow kind of a snack, chocolate covered bacon, but if you were to serve this at a dinner party, I guarantee you'd be like the hostess with the mostest. So just kind of cover it with your white chocolate and then do as you like. I like a little extra spice, so I'm gonna add a little cayenne pepper right to the top of it. And you can see I'm only doing one side. If you want to dip it completely, you can do that. That's your prerogative. You could also just kind of drizzle. I could take some of my white chocolate and just drizzle my bacon over the top, very chic. You can see all that brown sugar kind of running through. So that's really beautiful. Or you could play around with your dark chocolate. So again, take a nice paintbrush or a spoon and just as you like, just kind of coat your bacon with a nice thin layer. The paintbrush is really making sure that I don't put such thick globs of chocolate over my bacon. You don't want to mask the bacon, you just want to kind of augment the bacon. So here I'm going to do both sides. I'm just going to cover it completely. So I have my chocolate, let any extra kind of drip off. And you can see how fun that is. Caramelized chocolate covered bacon. Do one more, just drizzles. Maybe we could do a little bit of both, have a little fun with it. In the opposite direction, do a little crosshatch. Totally fun. And we'll do one more chocolate covered because I know I'm going to want to eat this one later. So just kind of glob it right on. And it's really beautiful. It's nice to kind of see the skewer running through a little bit. And that is it. So I'm going to pop these into either the fridge or the freezer just to let my chocolate set up. And as soon as it's hard and with a nice glossy sheen, you're ready to serve. So pop it in a nice glass, let it kind of stand up. People can just grab and kind of chew on them as they like. And that's how you make chocolate dipped bacon. So today I'm going to make chocolate bark. When you're making chocolate bark, you can choose anything that you like, whether it's dried fruits and nuts. Today I'm working with s'mores. So I have mini marshmallows and I have graham crackers. And I'm just going to take some dark chocolate. And this is probably the easiest way of making bark. You could alternatively take the bowl of chocolate and add your ingredients in and kind of stir them around. But I like a nice thin layer. So right onto a cookie sheet, I'm just going to take a little bit of dark chocolate. And you can make as much or as little as you like. You can see I have a sheet of parchment paper just to kind of protect my cookie sheet. And I'm working upside down. So this way I have my offset spatula, which is really large, and I have a small cookie sheet. So instead of trying to get around the lip and make it nice and smooth, I'm just going to work upside down, give myself a nice surface to work on. So just really gently, just back and forth, however you like. I'm not going to make too much, but this will probably serve about two. A few marshmallows, just kind of all over. My graham cracker, just kind of break up nice pieces of graham cracker. And again, use anything that you like. You do dried apricots, dried cherries, some almonds, pistachios. Work with white and dark chocolate. Just have a lot of fun with it. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of my chocolate and just right over the top. Just to kind of glue everything together. Okay, you buy this in the store and it's like incredibly expensive, but you can see in about 2 minutes we have our own homemade version. Couple more marshmallows just to finish it off. And if you want to, I like a little flake sea salt. This is like a really beautiful kind of crunchy sea salt. Just right over the top, make a kid's dessert into an adult kind of a treat. A little crunch of saltiness. And that's it. I'm going to pop this in the refrigerator or the freezer just until it's nice and firm. And you could break up really nice shards and enjoy. That's how you make chocolate bark. So I'm going to show you how to make chocolate clusters, which are probably my favorite treat in the world. They're like really nice and crunchy, nice bits of fruit. So I'm starting with milk chocolate. You can use dark, white, or milk. That's totally your call. And I'm just going to pour it into a bowl. This chocolate has been tempered, which means that I've melted it down and then brought down the temperature of the chocolate. So it's nice and cool. It's going to have a good sheen to it, a good gloss, and it's going to firm up nice and hard. So I have a little bit of chocolate. I'm gonna add in anything you like, but I'm doing some raisins. And you can use anything else. I even have some apricots that I could just kind of chop up. You don't want huge pieces of things in your clusters. Try to keep them all kind of on the small side. But just chop up some apricots. And here I have anything crunchy. Definitely add in like nuts. Here I have some cocoa cereal. These are nice and like crispy, crunchy. And you want to add in a bunch. And then just stir it up. This I totally do by eye, but just enough that the chocolate is kind of filled with goodness. Okay, so that looks beautiful. And then in a few more raisins, a few more crunchy bits. Good to go. So you can see it's like nice and firm. It's really chock full of stuff. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is take my spoon and onto a cookie sheet, either with a piece of parchment or a Silpat, which is a nice non-stick mat, just big spoonfuls of my cluster. And you don't have to be too perfect about it. It's kind of fun when they're a little bit irregular. But if you want to make sure that they're like totally perfect, you could even use a mini cupcake pan with little mini cupcake liners. And that way you'll get perfectly round clusters every time. But these are kind of just a fun little candy. Okay, so just nice clusters all over. And just to finish these off, you could take a few more of the same ingredients, just so people can kind of see what's inside. So maybe I'll sprinkle a little bit more apricot or a little bit of raisins on the top, add a few more crunchy bits, and then also a little bit of sea salt. So just a little touch of flake sea salt, just for a little salty crunch. And a flake sea salt you can find in stores. They're just big, nice, kind of beautiful shards of salt. Okay, a couple raisins. Okay, I'm gonna pop these into the fridge or the freezer just until they get nice and firm, and then we're gonna have really beautiful, firm, crunchy chocolate clusters. So that's how you make chocolate clusters.